You're watching The Glassman's World. So I wanted to just bring more information, more stuff that I found recently. There's a video here that I found. It's called Families Flee Wildfires into Ocean as Maui Boats Aid Fire Relief Efforts by Jonathan Petramala. So by Jonathan Petramala, this was posted 14 hours ago, so it's really new. This is a documentary. They've already put together a documentary that shows the individuals fleeing and what they have to go through and things like that. So this is kind of telling stories about several families who had to leave, abruptly. Here, I'll read it. Gripping news documentary captures the devastation and community resilience as deadly wildfires engulfed Maui's historic Lahaina town. See firsthand accounts of terrified teens jumping into the ocean with their mother to escape the raging flames. Local charter boats paused tours and instead carried critical supplies and evacuees. A husband and wife captain duo lost their home but continue assisting the relief efforts. Residents and visitors attempt to recover belongings from the decimated western region. This emotional video chronicles the tragedy and humanitarian spirit amidst Hawaii's most destructive wildfire in generations. This is the first part of a two-part news documentary. Please subscribe and click the alert bell so you will see part 2 of this battle for survival from the deadliest wildfire in over 100 years. Please consider supporting those directly involved. I know the people behind these GoFundMe personally. So there's a few individuals if you would like to help out. I'm not really sure who these individuals are, and I don't know who Jonathan Petramala is. I just know that this video was come out. So 14 hours ago, it came out with this video, so I basically watched it within a few moments of it being released. I am pretty much doing that. Hey, interesting. I just noticed this kind of old English style YouTube. I don't know what's going on there, but we'll check that out. So this is a 22-minute video, and in the very first seconds, so I know a lot of you don't want to spend time watching a lot of long videos or anything like that, but I just want you to hear what they say in the very first few seconds. Then we're going to fast forward a little bit to find the spot where he kind of gives more of a story about it here. So take a listen. And this is Carrie Kintz's video here that Jonathan Petramala is using here. I don't know if they're going to show any more of those.
The fire department captain. I talked to him. We hung out in his roof for about an hour, and he said, I'm packing up my kids and leaving. I'm like, well, if you're leaving, I'm leaving.
Okay, did you hear that? Within the first 21 seconds of the video, guys. I don't know if you heard that here. We'll rewind it, because I was kind of talking. Let's bring up the volume. Here, let me just step back real quick. Grab my my remote. We'll make sure that you guys can hear this. Okay, sorry about the movement and everything, guys. I go live raw and unplug and unedit it, so this is what you get from me at the Glassman's World. There's no edits. This is real life right here.
Across the street from me lives the fire department captain. I talked to him. We hung out in his roof for about an hour, and he said, I'm packing up my kids and leaving. I'm like, well, if you're leaving, I'm leaving.
So that's pretty tragic, right? The fire chief lives, I think he said fire chief or fire captain. We can double check that and just verify.
Across the street from me lives the fire department captain.
The fire department captain. Now, I did comment below on, wait, the fire chief left? I meant to say fire department captain. So I've been calling him the fire chief. I believe even in this video title, it's fire chief. A lot shorter of a title to get in there. So, basically, yeah, the fire captain took off, guys. Like, that's horrific, you know?
I was fortunate enough not to lose my home. Several of my captains and crew, they all lost everything, so they're out there today just trying to help out, even though they have nothing. They still want to give back to the community and help out, so that's what we're all about.
So these captains, Brad and Carrie Kent. So Carrie Kent, that was her video here. So this must be Carrie. So the footage that we just saw was, I guess, her footage there. And it's a tragedy. And these two are still out there. They're still doing what they can to help. And yeah, it's so tragic. All right. So the next part, I believe they go into the gentleman that we were just listening to. And he gives more of a in-depth kind of a... Here, just have a listen.
Across the street from me lives a fire department captain. I talked to him. We hung out in his roof for about an hour, and he said, I'm packing up my kids and leaving. I'm like, well, if you're leaving, I'm leaving. So we left probably around 4 or 5 o'clock in that neighborhood. I don't even know. And then we were staying with the owners of the boat. We drove around a golf cart, kind of looked, and when we saw where the fires probably took our house at around 10, 11 o'clock that night in our area. Took out our whole neighborhood. The whole neighborhood gone. The fire.
So 4 or 5 o'clock they left. By 10 o'clock, so 5 hours later, their place finally burned. So the fire department captain, left when they had 5 hours to try to protect their neighborhood or try to do something, at least get warnings out to all the neighbors, door to door, in their neighborhood, on their street, on their block. He up and left by 4 or 5 o'clock. I believe the fires just barely started to rage again around 4:30, somewhere around there. You guys, this individual has some splaining to do, you know. Lucy, you got some splaining to do. So, all right. Wow, the fire department captain, not the chief. And then in the comments below it says, well, he may have been retired. I don't care. Once a fireman, always a fireman.
Fire department captain's gone. His house is gone. It's pretty surreal once you put your eyes on it. You can hear it, see it. Like I said, telling you earlier, we didn't have any photos or any idea. And we get random texts. We didn't hear anything for 2 days, basically. And then when we were able to come down, we went and took a quick gander, and it's surreal when you see your houses ash. pretty crazy. And everybody else, and all the old people that live in our neighborhood too. Kind of frightening. Anyway, just trying to keep moving forward. Trying to do what we can to help out everybody.
Does it help doing this? Keep it busy?
Yes, I'm a lot happier today than I was yesterday doing this. I'm doing it for me, but not only for me, if that makes sense. Yeah. It does help me, but now I'm helping. I got a couple people that need to get here. I got all kinds of supplies, and we're apparently going to get more help to get off all these supplies. So, yeah, it does. I mean, there is a nice little feeling to volunteer and do good stuff, when you're in crisis, right? Or in general.
You mentioned Hurricane Lane. That's something you expect in Hawaii. Hurricanes, you expect volcanoes. Did you ever even think about Did you ever even think about wildfires?
During Hurricane Lane, we had wildfires too, right? Because power lines blow down. It's, as I always say, you're going to get taxed in life no matter what you do. No matter what it is, there's always a tax, right? It doesn't mean monetary, it just means whatever you do in life. Unfortunately, our agriculture shut down, so the island looks like this now, dry. Saved the ocean, it saved a lot of critters, it saved a lot of pesticides. Don't get me wrong, did a lot of good things, but there is a tax for that. Now, because we don't have irrigated waterways like we used to, and green sugarcane and pineapple, we just got dry tinderbox waiting to happen. Power line goes down, You know, I mean, they used to burn sugarcane all for years. And again, not a good thing, but it was a way to get things done. I'm not trying to condone it, not trying to dismay it, but to get rid of it, which is a good thing. But now we have a tri-tinder box now. You know what I mean? There's a tax to everything.
All right, you guys. So this video here, you find it on YouTube. Families flee wildfires into ocean as Maui boats aid fire relief efforts. This is the actual link right here. If you want to go on ahead and copy that. And I don't know what else I can say. You know, he's talking about the elderly being there and how he's now, you know, he's going out there and he's helping individuals to get them supplies and stuff, and that's a good thing. I just wish that they would have gone around and tried to warn all those elderly and all the individuals who were stuck in their homes right there on their block in their neighborhood. So I don't really know, you guys. This has been such a horrific tragedy. I can't think of anything else really, you know. I mean, I just recently lost some friends in the last month, and my focus is still on Hawaii and all the individuals there who had gone through this and the suffering and everything. You know, the individual in here, he's talking about the boats and how they're getting supplies now. I have heard that there's a lot of supplies getting sent to Red Cross and FEMA, but they are basically policing all of the supplies and not allowing it to be dispersed out. There's issues with some sort of like, you have to get a card. You got to prove you're a resident. You got to prove that you lost your homes or whatever. You got to somehow do some sort of application or whatever, get a card that then says that you can get supplies, right? And a lot of individuals, I guess they were there for hours yesterday, and they waited in line forever, got their cards, and then right after it, I guess the island said that system's not going to work. So they're just going to remove that whole entire system. So people wasted hours and hours and hours when they probably could have been procuring water, procuring food, supplies, anything like that. But instead they waited in line to try to get supplies. And so what's happening is the Red Cross and the and FEMA camps and everyone like that, they are basically rationing out the supplies. Whereas if you go to the other side of the island, this individual who basically hightailed it out of his neighborhood and didn't warn anyone, he got on his boat and now he's bringing supplies around to the side of Maui, where you know, the government, local government and officials and authorities have blocked out the roads so people can't get in with supplies to those in need. They can't get them any medicines or any food or any water or anything that they need. A lot of things that people need right now are respirators. They need cots, and they need pop-up tents. People who are still have homes up, apparently their homes are full of ash and toxic. You know, it all needs to be like deep cleaned before people can even go in there. You know, asbestos and all that different kind of stuff. So people need pop-up tents and they need cots to sleep on. You know, I would personally just go sleep on the beach, being in Hawaii, and figure out a way to just live right there on the land. You know, there was a place when I was out there in Oahu, there was a sovereign beach that I was like, that'd be kind of nice to just go and chill on a sovereign beach and live there, and you just, you know, fish for food and forage for fruit, vegetable, things like that, and, you know, and be all right. So there are individuals who are taking supplies to the other side of the island because the roads are closed. And so all of the authorities there, local authorities, officials, police, military, whoever is basically trying to take charge of all these supplies and rationing them out to the people and trying to do it in this weird way on go wait in line for this card and waste your time because now you can't even use it. There are locals who are coming together. There are people, individuals from the other islands and from other places from all around the world who are sending out supplies, including from here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Our very own Citizens Church are Pastor Dustin, I forget, I think it's Pastor Dustin Hayward, if I'm correct. Sorry if I got your last name wrong. I just know him as Dustin, Pastor Dustin. He's really awesome. I'm a Christian devotee, but I still go to his church from time to time because I love his message and how he delivers it, and also because a good friend of mine has invited us, our family, to go and join them in their church. And so, we do that from time to time. So Citizens Church, they have a connection with Citizens Hawaii, and that they actually have a church connection out there. So they're going to go help their brothers and sisters and also anyone else on the island who's in need. So if you're local here in Albuquerque, you can get your supplies, I believe, to Citizen Church, where they can get it directly to the island now. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't got that verified yet, but I strongly believe that we could do that now that we know Dustin's on his way out there. He may have already left, but I'm sure they're going to keep on shipping out supplies to them once they figure out their location and logistics and all that stuff. So, yeah, there's people who are now on the other side of Maui who are bringing in boats and bringing in supplies, and they got this human chain going now. And they're really, really stepping up to make sure that the supplies are getting to the people, guys, and not being policed. There's a video that just came out this morning, Tulsi Gabbard on the ground on Oahu. And she's talking to the locals there who are basically helping to organize and to run the supplies there on the, I don't know if I said Oahu. I keep on saying Oahu when I mean Maui. So sorry if I say Oahu and I'm talking about Maui. It's just because my brother used to live on Oahu, and my mind just goes directly to Oahu. I love Oahu. I wrote a song called Oahu. So, but I just love Hawaii. I mean, in general. So, Tulsi Gabbard is now there, boots on the ground. She's talking to the individuals. She's seeing how they're working. That's how we know that they need the cots, they need the pop-up tents, and they need the respirators. And they probably need other things like Starlink and to get the internet going so they have good communication. They probably need extra cell phones or handheld radios. The food and the water is coming in. It looks like people are going to be getting fed. Maybe they need some sort of toiletries or things like that. It'd be really nice if we could get our company Norwex that we work for, through, under, whatever. I don't know. My wife is a sales rep for Norwex, and they have these body cloths that if everyone had a body cloth, they would be able to bathe with just water and be able to remove all the bacteria from their body, from their skin and everything. And so I don't know if Norwex is going to get involved, but it would be really nice if they can send a whole lot of body cloths and enviro cloths so people can start cleaning up things, wiping up things that they need, and maybe even masks. I don't know if the 0.01 micron filtration capabilities of the Norwex mask will help as a respirator, but it's probably better than anyone who's using t-shirts or bandanas or anything like that currently. I don't know what else to say. I know that Tulsi Gabbard, who I wish is our future president, I really was hoping that she would be in place instead of Biden, but people didn't even know that we had a female candidate still on the ballots. But it is what it is. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave you with that. There's a lot of individuals who are out and they're helping. Oh, this is an individual who picked up these people who are going out to try to supply, and he's talking about this is kind of interesting. I wanted to show you this. As they're driving around, he's talking about how there's certain places that are not caught, and like you can see all the vegetation in the back, so you can see none of this was caught, right? None of this was on fire. He's talking about where the fire line begins, and somewhere behind the McDonald's there, and going down the hill, a lot of stuff is blocked off back that way, and they're like, oh, well, we're right behind the McDonald's, so that's all that they needed to go to. And he's like, okay, I'll drop you guys off right there. And he's going in to just get some water and some bread, get some simple supply. And he's talking about how while he's driving through, he's like, it's kind of interesting that the churches didn't burn right here. And he shows you 3 churches, one after another, and how they're just like full of this vegetation right here, as if the fire didn't touch it at all. but all the fire around did. So you can see still vegetation, right? Still vegetation, vegetation, vegetation. I'm trying to just get you focused in on the vegetation. See, there's a lot of stuff, but I'm just trying to get you the vegetation right here, right? So lots of vegetation, vegetation. No fire here, no fire here. And then I think right here is when he's talking about it. He's using a hand gesture on how it like kind of jumped from here and then jump to there. See, and he's pointing like boom, boom, boom. The church is coming up. So see, all vegetation, and I think he's saying this is where the fire starts, or the fire line. And so we're still in vegetation, vegetation. Okay, now you can see the fire in the background. A little bit of them trees are kind of burnt back there. And then there's kind of a clearing right there. And I think this might be where some of the stuff got kind of burnt and caught. Yeah, you can see it's kind of burnt in the background. There's burnt, charred things, right? So yeah, you can see it's all right here. It's all burnt, all burnt, all burnt. They pan. So you can see, like, yeah, this is where the fire line was. You can see the house in the back's got some vegetation, right? Lots of vegetation. There's some fires back here. So you can see some of them palm trees that had burnt, were scorched. Crews are working on the power lines and things right here. And so you can see there's like some places have vegetation, some are burnt. Sorry, I thought we were going to be going right into it here. We're going to come up to some churches. And it's just interesting how, you know, you can see like everything's burnt. You can see the vegetation right here still. So the fire didn't really come through. Maybe in the back area. Okay, now here the fire starts. This is where he says fire starts here. Right? All of this is burnt. And then look at this. Look at this. The church is all green. Look at that. The church is all green, guys. Look at that. Look at that. And then, right next to it, more charred fire. Right? All burnt down, all burnt, right? All burnt, all burnt. All burnt, and then look at here comes a little bit more green vegetation. Green vegetation. There's another church, another little area right there. You can see the tree right there, kind of burnt on one side, but it didn't catch all the rest. And then fire again, and then more vegetation in these places. Didn't even get scathed. Wow, how interesting is that? Just like burnt right around them. And people are like, oh, yeah, well, you know, the parking lots don't allow the fires to get up to the buildings and stuff. I'm like, there were nothing but vegetation around them churches. I don't know what the commenters are talking about. But so, yeah, I just wanted to point that out as well on how somehow those churches were unscathed. I don't know how. Oops. I just dropped my kid's marble racer thing. So, I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? What do you think about that fire, the fire chief, the fire captain, just up and leaving without warning anyone, any of his neighbors? He just up and left. And the other guy, you know, on the boat, he said, well, if you're leaving, I'm definitely leaving. You know, if I got some news from a fire chief, I'm like, wait, you're leaving? Babe, we got to go. We got to go. The fire chief is leaving. We got to go. He should be staying. You know, he's the captain of the ship. He's supposed to go down with the ship. You know, I understand you got children, you got to get them to safety. You had 45 minutes to get them to safety and to come back or to warn some people before. You know, I don't know what the excuse is going to be. You know, everyone has an excuse for everything, right? So let's find out what he has to say. Was he retired? If so, who cares? You know, once fireman, always a fireman, you know? So I don't know, guys. Tulsi's on the grounds now. That's a good thing. I've been asking if Jagad Guru is okay. I still haven't gotten a yes or a no. So I don't know. I don't know if she reads my comments or everyone's or anyone's comments at all. But other than that, that's my updates for this morning so far. You know, I just barely woke up and just started watching a couple videos, and I'm like, you know what? I really want to talk about this fire chief. Why did he leave? Why did he leave everyone behind? Such a tragedy. And then with the other man saying how there's so much of the older people, and he looked kind of old, right? He was like in his like 50s, 60s pushing, and he's talking about old people. So he's talking about them 80s, them 90-year-olds, them frail individuals who could not even, they had no clue. They couldn't hear the fire coming. They couldn't see it possibly. They might have felt it, but at that point it was too late. So sad. And all the children who were left at their homes alone during that day because the schools were canceled for some reason, because they had a fire earlier that day, and then they were concerned about the hurricane coming in. So school was canceled. Students were home. Parents were at work. Families were separated. A lot of those children didn't make it out, guys. The death toll, and I probably shouldn't have said that D word, but the toll now, I've heard that they've already filled 400 body bags and 400 more have been ordered. I've also heard the numbers are going to be reaching upwards of 800, 900 total, but will not exceed 1,000. How does anyone guess this or say this or claim this? Well, possibly because the official tally won't allow it to reach over 1,000. Right now, people are just horrified that there's even close to 100 individuals that have lost their lives. It's about to grow almost tenfold, guys, but it's going to stop at a certain number, right under 1,000, just to keep it from being excruciating pain. It's just going to be horrific, not excruciating. Yeah, that's what they do, guys. Play with our emotions. So just know there's at least 400 of those bags that have already been used and 400 more on their way. That's 800. And I'm sure that they have more on hand or they'll get more. But that number will be about that. We'll see. We'll see if my premonition is correct. And if this whole game that they play, because all it is, it's not premonition. It's not like I'm seeing into the future or anything. I'm just taking the information, the evidence, the knowledge, the stuff that I've been hearing, the things that others aren't really putting together, and I just kind of like add 2 and 2 to get 4. You know, it's kind of simple in that way. So just pay attention to what's going on, what people say, and also what they don't say, because that's important as well. I'm going to leave you guys. There's GoFundMe links in his description if you want to help. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know where they're going. I do know there is a church called King's. Now I don't remember. It's not King's Crossing. But there's a church called King's something. King's. And there's an individual that I've been watching on here who he's gone there, and it seems like that's a good place to also send donations. But if you're local, get a hold of Citizen Church here in Albuquerque and find out how you can get donations to Dustin out there. I believe that either he's on his way out or about to leave soon, or they're already done left. That was 2 days ago when they reported that he was going to be on his way. But I'm going to leave you with that, guys. I don't got much more else to say or to add to it. Yeah, it's a tragedy. We're praying for all the people. We're praying for all their souls, all their eternal souls, those individuals who lost their lives here. And all we can do is pray for everyone's soul. You know, it's pretty much it. So I'm going to let y'all go. Love and blessings to you all. Do what you can to help, if you can, when you can. All right, you guys, we got to stay close. We got to stay connected. We got to help each other out. We're all family here. We're all family on this planet. You know that. Believe that. Hare Krishna. Love and blessings. We'll see you guys soon.